Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. I place my humble salutations at the lotus feet of Saint Vedavyasa, who is the reason that we are able to access and read the Bhagavad Gita today. As there are no clarifications required from the comment section, we shall directly proceed into the content today. For viewers who are viewing the channel for the first time, I request you to go through the previous two videos in order to have a sense of continuity. We have been discussing about Duryodhana's lack of confidence among his own warriors and extreme confidence among his opponents. He continues by saying, Anye cha bahava shuraha madarthe tyakta jivitaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. Anye cha bahava shuraha. Many other warriors are ready to sacrifice their lives for our sake, he says. He also says they are Nana Shastra Praharanaha, which means skilled in the use and utilization of various weapons, not just one, various weapons. And Yuddha Visharadaha means experienced in the Vishaya of battle, experienced in the concept of war. All of them have had coaching and personal experiences in the military sciences. It is very ironic that Duryodhana says with a very definite tone that they, the other warriors, will tyakta jivitaha, which means lose their life. It is with a very definite voice he says that these warriors will lay down their lives for us. He is almost confident that it is impossible to win this war without them dying. So this is the first reflection of Duryodhana's belief that many warriors from his side will die in the battle. Now, at the same time, after confessing and sharing his thoughts with Drona, with his guru, he seems much more light-hearted, much more confident of his situation. Isn't it always like that in our life? When we have a problem, when we share it with our friend, our parent, or our teacher, we feel as if half the problem has already been solved. This is also the case when we have an ailment and we go to the doctor, and as soon as we enter the hospital, we feel as if we are partially healthy already. This has a lot to do with the psychological aspects of the mind, which, having shared the thought, now is more clear towards the solution available. Continuing, he says, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. Aparyaptam in Sanskritam has two meanings. One, in the positive sense, means infinite. Two, it also means not enough. It can also mean infinite, it can mean not enough. So, we do not know in what sense Duryodhana says aparyaptam tadasmak. In the positive sense, he may have meant our army is infinite, guarded by the sacred and powerful Bheeshma Pithamaha, the grandsire. Or he may have meant, with all the military prowess available at our side, it feels as if it is not sufficient. It feels as if this military power that we possess is not enough even though we are guarded by Bhishma Pitamaha, the grandsire. Bananji Govindacharya very humorously adds by saying Duryodhana's second focus in saying Paryaptam Tvidame Tesham Balam Bhima Bhirakshitam, where he points out that the enemy's army is finite, or in the other sense, enough. It looks enough with the power bestowed in Bhima. Bananji Govindacharya makes a very nice observation here by saying the commander-in-chief at that time was Drishtadyumna, not Bhima. But yet Duryodhana's eyes linger only upon Bhima, not any other warrior. He does not say the power is protected by Lord Krishna. He does not say it is protected by Arjuna. He has made his motive very clear that he wants Bhima. That's all. His intent is here to fight Bhima. His intent has been to fight Bhima always in the Mahabharata. His intention has always been to defeat Bhima because both were skilled in Gadha Yuddha, the act of warfare of using the mace. And having learnt it from Balarama, both of them were equally matched, and Duryodhana wanted to prove that he was the better student. That is the reason his eyes linger upon Bhima, not Arjuna or Drishtadyumna or Yudhishthira. He says their power is protected by Bhima, which also Banaji Govindacharya says. Isn't it very funny that the end of the battle happens because of Bhima? Because of Bhima killing Duryodhana, the Mahabharata war gets over, not because of any other warrior. So, Balam Bhima Bhirakshita makes sense because, in a way, he has already figured out that the final battle will be between him and Bhima. He has already decided upon it. Also, Duryodhana has shown, reflected a spectrum of emotions ranging from fear, lack of confidence to overconfidence, all the emotions. This shows how unstable his mind currently is. It keeps fluctuating. And we all know from our chemistry that equilibrium is always the state of stability. Duryodhana's mind is in no equilibrium state. It keeps fluctuating and thus is said to be chanchalatva, lack of focus, lack of concentration, lack of stability. Now, we must remember Sanjaya is the person talking to Dhritarashtra, conveying the incidents happening on the field of Kurukshetra. He says, of all the things Duryodhana has said, the next one, O king, Dhritarashtra, is most important. Prince, king, Duryodhana says, अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागमवस्थितः भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि. He talks to the entire army saying, O soldiers, you have been placed in various positions, strategic positions based on our formation. You, dear soldiers, have one primary role. Bhishmameva bhirakshantu. All of you from your strategic positions must protect Bhishma Pitamaha. This shows the trust Duryodhana has in Bhishma Pitamaha in both ways. In one way, he thinks if Bhishma stays through the war, the Kauravas will surely win the battle. Because if Bhishma Pitamaha gets going with his arrows and archery skills, there is no one in all the three worlds that can match his valour. He also says, Bhishmameva bhirakshantu. This is again the diplomatic side of Duryodhana. which Eknatheshwaran very dearly exposes. He says, Duryodhana orders his Sainikas to protect Bhishma so that Bhishma Pitamaha might get intrigued by it. So that Bhishma Pitamaha gets a sense of anger that Duryodhana had ordered the soldiers to protect him. So that his ego comes up and Bhishma starts thinking in an angle where Bhishma's mind says, the great Bhishma me requires protection from soldiers? And Duryodhana is telling everyone to protect me. Does he think I'm an old man who can no longer fight? Duryodhana wants these thoughts to be implanted into the mind of Bhishma so that he would fight with full fierce, full vigor, and try to prove to Duryodhana that he is not an old man. But it does not happen. Bhishma Pitamaha's stable mind is beyond the feelings of ego, the sense of trying to prove himself. He does not have the need to do it. He does not have the intention to do it. He does not have to prove himself, for he has already proved his value to all the three worlds. Having learnt Vidya from the gods themselves, Bhishma Pitamaha does not see the need to establish his supremacy just by fighting on the mere mortal Kurukshetra field. Duryodhana already places his trust in two of his main warriors, Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitamaha. He assumes and hopes that they will fight with full vigor and they will support Duryodhana in this battle and help him secure victory for the Kauravas. And therefore, he utters the previous words. But Bhishma Pitamaha is equally smart. He already senses the seeds of doubt in his grandson. He wants to clear it off. He wants to clear off the doubts present in the mind of Duryodhana. He does not want to allow them to grow. So what happens in the Kurukshetra field is Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham Kuruvruddhah Pitamaha Simhanada Vinadyochaihi Shankham Dadmau Pratapavan. He senses Duryodhana losing confidence over his valuer. He does not want to grant Duryodhana more time in talking again and again because Duryodhana, in Bhishma's opinion, has spent enough time talking. It's time to start the action. Vakati bhavati. Enough of talk. Too much of talk has been done. Kriya kartavya. Action must start. The war must start. So in order to increase the harsha, the happiness of the Kauravas, he initiates the war. He takes his divine conch and starts blowing it in not an ordinary tone but a simhanada. When he blows his conch, it sounds as though a lion is roaring, striking fear through the opposition already. The opponents are already scared by the simhanada of his conch alone, and Duryodhana's confidence increases. Now he is satisfied that Bhishma Pitamaha's mind is completely in the war because he is the person who has initiated the war himself. So that's why Sanjanayan Harsham happens. Increase of happiness happens for Duryodhana, and the Kuru Vridha, the oldest person present on the battlefield, Bhishma Pitamaha, uses his conch to produce a Simhanada in a tone which strikes fear through heaven and earth. Then, when the initiation has been given, Tata Shankhaschcha Bhairyascha Arnavanaka Sahasaivaabhyahanyantah Sashabdhastu Muno Bhavat. Each soldier starts blowing his own instrument. Some blow conches, Shankaha. Some start beating their drums, large drums, small drums, kettle drums, all types of drums. This shows the diversity of the instruments we had in the Dwapara Yuga itself. We had Shankaha, Bheryaha, Panavanakaha, which means kettle drum, and Gomukaha, which means the horn which people use in warfare. The sound that emanated from the Kurukshetra field was tumultuous, and the sound reached heaven directly because of the massive participation in the Kurukshetra Yuddha. All the instruments were played, the Shankha was blown, the kettle drums were beaten, and all the Panavanaka and the Gomukhas were played again on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, indicating the start of a great war. I shall come into the scientific aspect of Shankha in the subsequent shlokas. ततश्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितो माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदद्मतुः. Then, after various soldiers had started playing their own instruments, the chariot with white horses, this is the amount of description Vedavyasa offers to identify just like how we have hero introductions in the movie. Vedavyasa introduces the Kathanayaka in a very spiritual way. He says, Tata Shvetair Hayair Yukte. Then, among all these sounds, there was one particular identifiable sound which was emanating from a chariot which had white horses, and inside were two very, very recognizable divine people, Madhava and Pandava. Madhava, the Lord of the universe, Sri Krishna, was sitting at the charioteer's seat, and Arjuna, the bravest and the most talented of the Pandavas, was standing in the chariot at the warrior's position, and they started blowing their particular conches, their own divine conches. This chariot is described because, as narrated in the previous videos, the chariot was given to Arjuna by Agni Deva himself. The chariot could endure any amount of damage because of the Kapidvaja present over the chariot, the Dvaja containing none other than the immortal Hanuman from the Ramayana, present on the Dvaja of the chariot, and inside was none other than the Supreme Being, Lord Krishna. Therefore, Lokanath Swami says, Jayastu Panduputranam Yasya Pakshe Janardhana. Even from the beginning, it's very, very evident that the victory is going to be the side of Panduputras, because on their side lies justice, and on their side lies the Paramatman himself. The chariot majestically stood on the fields of Kurukshetra, emanating the Divya sound, the divine sound given out by Madhava and Pandava Arjuna. So let us dwell into what their conches are, the names of the conches, the history behind the conches. Panchajanyam Hrishikeshaha Devadattam Dhananjayah Paundram Dadmau Mahashankham Bhimakarma Vrikodaraha. Sri Krishna Paramatma blew his divine conch Panchajanya. It is very important to know why the conch was called Panchajanya. For this, we have to divert temporarily into the Harivamsha, which is a sequel to the Mahabharata written by Saint Vedavyasa himself. When Janamejaya, the son of Parikshit, asked Vaishampayana about the origins of Lord Mahavishnu till the current time, he was only very happy. Vaishampayana was very happy to recite the history. And in the Vishnu Parva, the incident of the Panchajanya is present. I could include the links of the shloka in the comment in the section below, in the bio section below the video. I shall include the links to the shlokas. If you are interested, please go through the shlokas, as it would take too much time to narrate the shlokas and go into their meanings. I shall try to make it concise and just narrate the story alone. In those days, there was the concept of Gurukula was the only type of schooling present where every child born would be sent to the Guru's house where he would stay for 14 years in order to gain shiksha from the Guru and learn everything possible and come out as a learned scholar. There was no fees charged at all for all these 14 years. The student, after establishing himself as a learned scholar, would definitely get opportunities to earn money or any other position. After he decides that he is present in a stable condition now, it is the duty of the Shishya to go and offer Guru Dakshina to the Guru. No Guru will demand Guru Dakshina. If the Shishya feels he is comfortable enough in a position to offer Guru Dakshina, be it in any point of his life, he can go and offer. There is no compulsion as to how much a person has to offer, at what time they have to offer. There is no restriction, because Vidyaya Amritam Ashnute. Vidya is equivalent to nectar. No price can be paid for it. It is only an attempt to try to pay the respect to the Guru. After their formal education ended and Sri Krishna and Balarama had established themselves as kings of Dwaraka, they approached their Guru Sandipani to pay their Guru Dakshina with large amounts of gold and rice, pulses, all these things. Sandipani immediately told, I don't want all these, Krishna, but I do have a request which only you and Balarama can satisfy. Krishna was overjoyed by this. Any student can give wealth, but to give Guru satisfaction and happiness is another thing. Immediately Sri Krishna inquired Sandipani what was to be done. Sandipani told that, oh Krishna, my son went to Prabhasa for penance purpose, for pilgrimage purpose, and he never returned. This Prabhasa is present inside the ocean. That is where he went to perform penance, but he has never returned. No word of him. Can you check what has happened to him? Sri Krishna immediately sought the blessing of his own Guru, and then he prayed before his brother Balarama, asking for his blessings, and said, when the younger brother is there, the elder brother should not take much effort. I will go into the ocean and come back, oh brother. Please relax by sitting on the banks of the ocean. I'll be back. And Krishna goes into the deepest part of the ocean where Sagara, the god of the ocean himself, comes out and greets Krishna and offers him a simhasana there and asks him, O divine one, what is the purpose of your visit here? We are blessed by your visit. Krishna immediately comes to the point. He says, my Guru Sandipani's son had come here for penance. I want to know what happened to him. Sagara says, yes, I did see him, but he was swallowed by a giant demon, a Daitya named Panchajana. who assumed the form of a whale. Krishna immediately went in search of Panchajana, and he found him, and there was a fierce battle between them, which Lord Krishna finally won. But to his surprise, he could not find the boy inside the stomach of Panchajana. But he found a huge conch wrapped up on the skin of the whale, which he took and came to the surface of the ocean, to the banks of the ocean, to the shore of the ocean. That's why it's called Panchajanya, because it was taken from the Asura Panchajana. And he immediately proceeded to Yamaloka with his brother Balarama. As he went there and blew his conch, Yamadeva immediately came down and said, "O Divine One, I am not often visited by people of your spiritual aspect. What can I do for you?" So Krishna asks, "Where is Sandipani, Guru's son?" And Yama says, "Oh, he is with me in Yamaloka." And Krishna says, "Please send him back." Yama says, "Oh, but that is not possible because he has come here because of his Purva Janma Karma." I will dwell on this concept of Purva Janma Karma in my subsequent videos. But for now, let us understand that because of Purva Janma Karma, Sandipani's son was trapped. What happens after this? Let us understand it in the next video. And let us conclude today's session by placing our prarthana on the Kamalapada of Sri Mahavishnu. I also request you to place any clarifications in the comment section, any corrections in the comment section too, and kindly subscribe to the channel to get constant notifications about the videos. Govindeti sada dhyanam, Govindeti sada japam, Govindeti sada dhyanam, Sada Govinda Kirtanam.